Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I saw this thing in the news. I think I saw it on Times of Israel, and I actually haven't seen it all over about this professor. Abbas Gassemi must be his name. He's a professor at University of California in engineering, and he had this Twitter account where he posted some 2,200 tweets, and almost all of them were terribly anti-Semitic, calling the Zionist brain and Israel, and accusing the Jewish people of only wanting money and power and so on and so forth. Horrific stuff. And this is a professor at the university. And when they contacted him from one of the Jewish newspapers, he immediately deleted his account. And at first, the university said, "Oh, it's freedom of expression, and we have to allow, we can't tell someone what to say." But suddenly, when they realized the severity and what he was tweeting, they opened up a case they opened up an inquiry, etc., etc. But it really hasn't been in the news. No one is talking about it. And I was thinking to myself, like, where's the anger? Where's the pain? If someone said something like that about another race or another nationality, the place would be in the front page of the New York Times. But no one even heard about this. And it made me think about something in this week's Torah portion, and one of the most beautiful thoughts I had heard from the Kotzker Rebbe. Imagine you have a child who goes to Harvard or to Yale, Princeton, graduates, top of his class, and you take him out to lunch. You take your son out to lunch or your daughter out to lunch, and you say, "Listen, we have this big company. We have 200 employees. I want you to come into the company. I'm going to give you a high job with the intention that eventually you'll take over the company. You're going to be the CEO." And first his son says, "No, it's not really good for me." And you say, "What are you talking about? You're excellent. You'll be great." He says, "Well, the employees won't trust me because I'm your son." And you say, "What are you talking about? The employees are going to love it. They're going to want to change their blood and something new." So then he says, "You know what? But at the end of the day, I have impediments." And you say, "No, it's impossible." He says, "Listen, why don't you get someone else?" And you get angry at your child and you say, "What are you talking about? You take this job or I'm cutting you out of my large will, and you get no more allowance, no more stipends." And your son gets fearful and takes the job. Or you're trying to get your kid to prepare for their bar mitzvah and he doesn't want to study, and you say, "Why?" He says, "Well, my voice is not good." And you finally convince me he has a beautiful voice, and you say, "People won't listen to me." He says, "No." And on until you get angry. You say, "Listen, I'm not making you that party you wanted," or you take it, and the kid takes it. What's wrong with that? Obviously, you don't want your kid to take a job because you're going to be angry at your child. You don't want your kid to take a job that's forced and they're not happy with. It's a terrible way to do things, right? Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened in this week's Torah portion. God turns to Moses, and there's a burning bush, and Moses sees the burning bush from afar, but the bush is burning, but it's not being consumed. And he comes over and he sees the holiness of God. And God tells him, "I want you to go to Egypt and to take the Jews out of Egypt." And Moses says, "Me to Pharaoh? This big tyrant? Who am I going to come to Pharaoh?" So God says, "Don't worry, just go. You're the right person at the right time." So suddenly Moses says, "Yeah, but the Jews, they won't believe me. They've been through so much suffering, so much pain." So God says, "They will. And I'll give you a miracle for them to trust you." So then Moses says, "Listen, but I stutter. I can't speak." So God says, "It's not about the speech. I will speak for you." So Moses says, "Listen, I have a brother, just send him." And suddenly it says, "Vayichar af Hashem b'Moshe." God got angry at Moses. And Moses took the job. But the question, of course, is, first of all, did God not have any way of explaining and inspiring Moses through words that he should take the job, that he had to get angry? Is that a way to deal that you get angry at someone because they're having a discussion with you? And maybe Moses made rationally sense in what he was saying, and he wasn't the guy. If you want him to take the job, convince him that he's the guy. Don't get angry at him. And I saw a beautiful commentary from the Kotzker Rebbe, and that's what I want to tell you today. The Kotzker Rebbe says like this. The Kotzker Rebbe says that if you look at the words, it says that God, Vayichar af Hashem b'Moshe, God's anger burned in Moses. It didn't say God got angry at Moses. It says his anger burned in Moses. And the Kotzker Rebbe says it's something much different. God realized that Moses was a logical person. He cared for his people. He loved his people. But at the end of the day, Moses didn't think it made sense for him to be the guy. He wasn't going to be able to accomplish what God wanted. God suddenly realized that the only way that he would get Moses to take this job was if some of his anger, if some of his passion burned within Moses. God was furious at the suffering of the Jewish people, at the killing, at the murder, at the enslavement. God was burning with passion against Pharaoh. And he realized that the only way to get Moses to take this job was if some of that passion, if some of that burning was infectious and burned within Moshe. If he got to Moshe's kishkis and Moshe was fiery about what was going on, about the injustices, then Moses would join. And that's what happened. Years ago, the Rebbe once said a story, the sixth Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Rebbe, about the Chafetz Chaim. At one time, the Polish government came out with a decree against Jewish slaughter. And the Rebbe says that the Chafetz Chaim sent a messenger, a whole delegation with him, to go plead with the government. And they came back and they said they failed. And the Chafetz Chaim said, what happened? They said, well, we came, we spoke Yiddish, the interpreter wasn't really good, they didn't understand us, they got lost in the translation. And the Chafetz Chaim looked at them and said, I don't understand. Why didn't you faint? Why didn't he see your passion? Why didn't he see that you couldn't tolerate what was going on? He might not speak your language, but your passion, your anger about the situation, that he could have seen. And that's the message that the Kotzker Rebbe was saying we take from this. A Jew has to know that we have to be passionate about injustice. We can't just be indifferent. We can't just be logical. We have to be passionate. When we see someone spew hate like that, we can't just say, you know what? All right. But we have to scream about it. We have to be passionate. When a Jewish mother of 6 children gets murdered in Israel and it doesn't even make the front, the newspapers in America. But we're Jewish people. Where's our passion? Where's our drive? Against anti-Semitism, against anti-Israel. And that's the message we learn from Moshe. Vayichar af Hashem bin Moshe. God recognized that the only way to get Moses to take the job was if his passion for the injustice that was happening would burn within Moses in his kishkis. And that's the way we have to inspire our children. That Judaism and the future of Jewish people and injustice against Jewish people should burn within them. Have a good day.